What's up, everybody? This is RaininStormwake, and I'm here with Escoblades. And today we're going to be doing a dual comm over this Manhunt video where me and Escoblades had a really good game with havoknotyetpro. And what's up, Escoblades?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on your channel.
Definitely, dude. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, that was an
Talk
epic
to you.
game we had actually. It was
Yeah, it was awesome.
kick some ass. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, like you said, this dual com, and I've known you for a while. Mainly through sort of like your VAA stuff. People who've been on my channel obviously know that I play a lot with Gia, and I had him on for a dual com myself, and sort of like Manhunt's really his thing. But I'm kind of like
Definitely.
interested to find out. I think obviously the people who watch you on a regular basis know, but for the benefit of anybody else who might be coming in and doesn't know who you are, sort of like what? How did you get started with Assassin's Creed? I'm sure you obviously started with Brotherhood, and then kind of how.
Yeah.
Yeah, just tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, my friend had Brotherhood, and he was I saw him playing multiplayer, and I'm like, wow, this looks really fun, you know. So I tried the multiplayer. I didn't try the single player at all. I just jumped right into the multiplayer,
Mhm.
and was playing Wanted, and was really, hooked on the game pretty instantly. It was really fun. So yeah, and then eventually moved on to Assassinate when that came out, and then, oh man, I just love that.
Yeah, that is your mode because like quite a few people in
Yeah,
the community kind of have like the modes that they're known for, and obviously Gia is known for his manhunt stuff. You and Ninkin, I think who's actually a part of your clan as well, VAA, the same
yeah,
clan
he
as Gia.
is.
You guys are known for Assassinate. I mean, what did you think? I'd quite like to know actually. What did you think about Assassinate when it first got announced? Because I remember when that got announced. Um, and actually, just before
Yeah,
the announcement, I'd found out from Ubisoft, this mode Assassinate. And I was talking with a few people, Rainy being one of them. We were like, "Wow, this is going to be like super stealthy." And
yeah.
I mean, I don't know what you thought. Did you even
Um,
think it was
the
going to be like it
idea
is now?
sounded really good, and like everyone was stoked on the idea. They're like, "Oh, Assassinate's gonna be so cool. It's gonna be so stealthy, blah blah blah." And it actually was stealthy for I would say maybe a month or two. Like when it first came out, it was really stealthy. Like if you watch Rage John's videos,
Yeah,
it's a lot of people just walking around in blend groups, and he uses like firecrackers. So
yeah,
he'll reveal people like that. But yeah, it was really stealthy, and then people figured out they could get more points by being more aggressive, running around more, and just like pushing their point, their point cap.
yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, because like I said, we thought initially, oh, you have to lock to get the stuff, and we're thinking it's gonna discourage roofers because anybody on the roof, everyone would just lock in and be like, oh shit, kind of thing, and it was
Yeah,
gonna be super stealthy. But obviously, it's become a different kind of beast. And again, people who watch my stuff would know that I initially was sort of like, I can't stand Assassinate mainly because it takes different mechanics, doesn't it? I mean, it's not like
yeah.
Wanted or even Deathmatch or anything like that. It takes a different mindset.
It really, really does. Yeah, it's like a completely different mindset, and it's really weird. Like I'll play a lot of Assassinate, and then whenever I go to play anything else,
Yeah,
I'll be stuck in this mindset, this Assassinate mindset. And like I'm in Wingspan's little tournament thing, and
yeah,
I played Wanted, and I just played terrible because I was playing it like Assassinate, and
yeah,
that's just a good, I guess a good example of how the mindset is just so much different.
yeah. I mean, so what sort of tips would you give? I mean, I came to you, Angie, actually, when I was doing my little, okay, I'm going to stick with Assassinate for like a month or something, and I'm just going to try and improve at it. What sort of tips would you give to people who are struggling with that game mode?
I guess the biggest thing is like the lock system. You really need to learn the ins and out of the lock system.
Yeah,
Learn how to lock properly. How to unlock. The easiest way I've found to unlock is actually to tap it twice really quickly. Doesn't always work, but the biggest problem right now is the auto lock. Like when
yeah,
anyone's in high profile, you'll be trying to lock someone, or you'll be zoomed in with your reticle, and you're trying to lock someone, and someone else is running by, and you'll lock them instead.
mhm,
Like that's the biggest problem that I feel they introduced in this game when they added the auto lock.
yeah.
So I mean, you got to get around that, and then just getting out of the mindset that you have to be locked on to someone. That's like one of the most important things too. You don't want to always be locked on to the person. Like you can lock them after you hit them with a smoke bomb, after you hit them with a knife,
Mhm.
after whatever. I mean, you don't have to lock them until you're ready, and
Yeah.
that's probably one of the most important things.
Yeah, that's true actually, because again, it's a symptom of sort of what started in Brotherhood. Obviously, the mechanics were different because of the different approach meter, but people
Yeah.
would rush at you and then lock you at the last second, before you could even
Yeah.
react, and then they'd get that incog, and that's how obviously a lot of the really good Assassinate players approached it, because they knew that they could use those mechanics to their advantage. Now obviously it's changed, because obviously the reverse detection meter, but no one still hangs around to build that meter
Yeah.
up. They're still going to rush you and kill you, but getting more kills in combination with the ability set that you're using, kind of thing, can help you get those
Yeah.
points at the so it's
more bonuses,
yeah.
more types of escapes, brutal escapes, all that, just like all that all together just added up to be more points, surprisingly.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing about the locking thing is, like, the most important thing is, okay, how fast you're moving determines how fast your lock turns over. So if you're running at someone and you start your lock, you're gonna have to start it from way farther away than you would if you were walking.
Yeah.
So like, it's like all these things put together, like how fast you're moving, how fast your target's moving, like all that stuff, and that's what makes it so complicated of a lock system.
Yeah.
On Brotherhood and Revelations, it's just really complicated.
So what would you say to people? And I mean, we can both agree that the game, as well, maybe not so enjoyable as Brotherhood was because of the problems that it has. At least Ubisoft look like they're gonna start fixing some stuff. But what would you say to people who say that Assassinate, of all the game modes, I guess it's an opinion I once held, is like the one where all the flaws of the game are sort of like amplified, and any sort of bullshit that could happen in a game usually just happen, sort of like glaringly open in Assassinate, and people use that to their advantage.
Yeah, that's definitely true. There, like, a lot of the bugs in the game you will find in Assassinate.
Yeah.
But I think that's mostly because Assassinate incorporates everything, like stunning, escaping, chasing, killing, like everything. Like, and then there's like the huge massacres, which you usually don't see in any other game mode. I mean, in Wanted, you're not really gonna have huge massacres like that.
Yeah.
And it's the big massacres with all the smoke bombs and people spamming buttons that causes like all the lag.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a problem with the game. It's not really the mode. And
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, looking forward, sort of looking ahead rather, as opposed to forward. With AC3 now, it hasn't been officially confirmed that multiplayer will be making a return, but based on the leaks that have happened and what Game Informer is saying, and some educated guesses amongst other things, we can assume that multiplayer will be making a return, albeit maybe in a different sort of like setting and era and different characters and stuff.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, it should be cool. But what would be like the main things that you hope for? As like just fire off maybe the three main things that you hope for that the team from Annecy will take from Brotherhood and Revelations and like either improve or include in Assassin's Creed 3 multiplayer.
The first thing I hope they don't do, I hope they don't fix things that don't need to be fixed. Like, they fix some things, or they, quote unquote, fix some things from Brotherhood that didn't need to be fixed.
Yeah.
But they did add some things that I really like. I like that you can drop abilities in your kill and stun animations.
Yeah.
That was a great improvement. And I like that you can lock people in a kill animation too. I don't know why they're thinking of taking that out with this new patch, but that's kind of disappointing, especially for Assassinate.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's a couple improvements like that, and there's a few others that make, for me at least, now that I've played ACR a lot, I like it more than Brotherhood. If it was bug-free and Brotherhood was bug-free, I honestly would like Revelations more.
Okay,
just because it has more modes, and those new additions that just make it really, really fun and more action-based, I think.
That's interesting, actually, because not a lot of the people that I've spoken to would say that. I think a lot of people would want, personally for me, Brotherhood had a lot of the things that, well, it was the first iteration in that multiplayer series, so it did a lot of things well, and I think then Revelations has done some things well, but if they could incorporate those, so like if you had the ability to drop so if you had the chance to drop abilities while in a kill or stun animation in Brotherhood, minus a few, that would be perfect. I think,
Yeah, it would. If they added those things that I love from Revelations back into Brotherhood, it would be a better game, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because I mean, the first thing that everyone complains about, obviously, is the RDM. Obviously, we've learned to overcome that, but it's still, it's like it didn't do what they were hoping it was going to do.
I still don't like it, but it's okay. I mean, you get around it. It's great for deathmatch. It's great for deathmatch. It works perfectly. It's almost like the entire game was designed around deathmatch, and then they just added in all the other modes, and they're like, oh, okay, well, we'll just have to make it work with this meter. I mean, That's what it seems like. I don't know.
Sweet. Okay. Well, we're coming up to the end of the video, but like I said, it's actually turned out to sort of be like a reverse interview, as it were, with the dual com. But thanks for
Yeah.
having me on your channel, obviously, and thanks for
Yeah,
letting people
definitely, man.
know, a bit more about you and stuff. And obviously, they know where to find your videos. So, you know,
Yeah, and if any of you guys don't know who Escoblades is, you should definitely check out his channel and all the stuff he does for the community,
thank you.
because he's awesome.
Thanks, man. Really appreciate that. So yeah, I guess we can wrap it up there, and we'll catch you guys again soon.
Yeah,
Take
take it
care.
easy, guys.
Bye.